Hello again! We're going to continue the installments today of what to do when you want to open an academy in Spain. So, here we go. So in the last video, we left off on, you found your place, you renovated it, you're gung-ho, you're ready to do this, ready to open up a language academy, and now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. The government and the need for a consultant, or what they call here in Spain, asesor laboral, who is also connected to a abogado laboralista, labor lawyer. Now, your asesor should work, maybe they work in a firm with labor lawyers as well as accountants, or perhaps your consultant is also an accountant, as it was in my case. And I cannot stress this enough. You must find somebody that you trust to do your consulting work. Maybe you know a friend of a friend. Maybe you know them because you've read an article about them. Maybe the personal connection is always going to be the best one. So we were talking earlier about why it's so important to have an assessor. It's because when we first started out, we responded to an assessor who had sent us an email looking for work. And this person, their firm, we were under the impression, as good American and German, that companies actually do what they say they're going to do. They did not do it in our case. They did our employee contracts, but then did not tell us how much we had to pay to the Social Security office at the end of the following month for 4 months. So we ended up having about $3,000-4,000 in Social Security taxes that we had to pay towards for the employees, as well as about another $2,500 or so in fines to the government because we hadn't paid them. So I cannot stress enough, you must find an assessor or a consultant that you trust that also works with a labor lawyer. If you don't know one and you want to move to Spain, and you don't have to come to my city, you can go anywhere else. These people can work anywhere within the national area of Spain. I myself know 2 extremely trustworthy consultants. So if you're thinking about embarking in opening a language academy, I'd be more than happy to reach out to me or leave me a comment, and I'll be more than happy to get you in touch with people that I know. And perhaps they will definitely know people who are also trustworthy that would work in your area. The reason why you need an assessor, let's get into it. It's because it's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of paperwork that the government requires from you. Okay, so first off, before you do anything, you have to declare yourself an independent contractor, what they call in Spain an autónomo, okay? This means that you say you are a business entity to the Spanish government. In order for you to have a business, the Spanish government requires you to pay an amount each month. Now, this amount depends. If you are a new business owner and you're under 30, then you're going to pay around 60 euros for the first 2 to 4 years, something like that. After the first 2 years, it starts to go up. But I'm not sure about people under 30. People under 30 have a few more breaks than people over 30. So you need to go to the Social Security office and make yourself active in the Social Security system, pay the $283, you're going to have to go to another bank to pay for it and then bring them back the receipt because they won't accept credit card payments. This country is a little bit not as progressive as some other places. Let's just say it that way. Okay, so you do that. Now, you need to get the title. You need to create a title for your academy. If you're starting from scratch, then you need to go to the Office of Urbanism and pay some taxes and register your business. You're the name of your business, which would be under your own name because you're the autónomo. However, if it's an academy that's being transferred to you, then you need to transfer the title of the academy to the autónomo, which is you in this case. Okay, so for that you need to go to the Office of Urbanism, la Oficina de Urbanismo, in your city, province, or municipality. Okay? All of these instructions loosely I will write in the description below so that anyone who is interested in doing this will have a blow-by-blow. I mean, I kind of wish I had somebody to help me with this. I had to just find out. Baptism by fire. But they say, hey, the best training is no training, right? Then you are an autónomo. You get the title. You have to sign a rent contract as the autónomo, because every 3 months, a portion of your rent has to be paid to the government in what is called the Modelo 150. Now we're getting into the modelos. Modelo is just a document, and it's just a pretty way of saying taxes. The government would rather say you have to pay a model. So you have the Modelo 115. This is representative of 18.5% roughly in the year 2019-2020. You have to put aside 18.5% each month of what you pay on rent, and then at the end of 3 months, you have to report that 18.5% in a document called the Modelo 115 and pay the 3 months accumulation of that rent. So, let me put it to you in easy terms. If your rent is 500 euros a month, then your Model 115 is going to be 18.5% of that, which is 92 euros and 50 cents a month. Over 3 months, you're going to end up paying 277 euros and 50 cents every 3 months for that model. Then there's a Model 111. That is a trimestral report of the income that you pay your employees and the payment of the employee retention tax. Now, this is only in the case of if you have employees. However, if you're a language academy where you're not the only teacher, and I mean, you can do that if you want, but in that case, I don't see why anyone would open up a language academy, to tell you honestly, unless they needed to invoice things with big companies, because honestly the taxes are just exorbitant here. So normally if you're going to have an academy, you're going to employ a number of teachers because you have a number of students, or perhaps you have a number of languages, okay? So the Model 111 is something you're probably going to run into. Okay, this represents 5% of the reported income on all of the employees. 5% per month, which is paid every 3 months, just like the Modelo 115. They're paid in at the same time, trimestrally, your months. So, for example, if you have an employee who makes 1,000 euros a month, then you're going to be paying roughly 5% of their salary apart from what you pay them, apart from what you pay the employee. Which is 50 euros, okay? Multiply that by 3 months, you're paying 150 euros to the government on that employee. Now, you also have to take into account that you're paying every month Social Security, which is representative of roughly 43% of what you report you pay to the employee. So, if this employee, you're paying them 1,000 just to have a nice round number, at the end of the following month, you have to pay 430 euros, roughly, for that employee. And that's every month, okay? And then at the end of 3 months, you've got to pay the Modelo 111, which is representative of 5% of the past 3 months of their salary, another 150, which then they can request back from the tax office at the end of the year. And I'll make a video about employee rights in Spain after this. Okay, so Now, another reason why you need your consultant is because at the end of the contracts for all of the employees and all the teachers, at the end of the year, because you're probably going to start off by giving temporary contracts, I'll put right here the list of the payments for all the different types of jobs that people can do when they work in non-obligatory education. And you can see here, you divide these numbers by 1,446 hours in a year, and you get how much they make per hour. Okay? So that is too complex of a calculation. I cannot calculate. I don't know what the calculation is. That's why I needed my assessor. Because at the end of the year, all of the employees get a severance pay when they're on temporary contracts. It's called a finiquito. It's a small amount, but it is depending on how much they made the previous month. They also get vacation pay. Vacation pay is accrued at 2.5 days per calendar month worked. So if you work 40 hours a week, then at the end of 12 months or 11 months, you will get an entire 30 days off. In language academies, you work less, so therefore the vacation pay ends up being a percentage of 2.5 days for however many days that person used to work in a month. All of this becomes money at the end, of course, that you have to end up paying, and those are the first steps that you have to take into account for why you need to hire someone, and you're probably going to pay somewhere in the range of 80 to 200 euros, depending on where you are. Maybe in Madrid it costs more money. Down here in Spain it costs between 80 and 200 to get a good job, to get somebody you trust, somebody who's going to do everything for you. They also have to check up on these two government systems, Hacienda and Tesorería, to see if you have any notifications. Your assessor is not going to do that with the price that they charge you. They will charge extra to do that. I highly recommend that you pay them to do that because you will not know how to understand those notifications. That's all for this segment, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.